Okay, so I said in my previous video, linked above, that if it gets a bunch of likes, I would show you all how I did it. So here we go. Before we get started, this tutorial will be a 4 on the quickness scale. So basically, first I made a couple of planes for the inside and outside floors. Then I created a cube for the wall and scaled it down to make it look like a wall. Then I made a big cube the size of the 2 doors that I was gonna make, and then I used a boolean modifier on the wall to make a hole. BAM! Wall. Then I made a separate plane for the door, scaled it down, inset a face giving a little bit of margin, and threw on a solidify modifier, making it slightly less than half of the wall's width. BAM! Doors. I also duplicated it so that there's 2, because that's how my sliding door works. For the handle, I took another cube, made a bunch of loop cuts, and painstakingly sculpted the exact shape of my door handle using reference images. Then I made the little locking knob out of another cube. I sized up the ends using proportional editing on the sphere setting, making semicircles on each end. Then I loop cut in the middle and used proportional editing to give it a semicircle look. Then I extrude the face and BAM! It's done. Then I crash Blender, forget to save it, and then do the entire knob over again. Finally, I make a little hole in the handle, position the knob inside, and set the knob's parent to the handle so that I can move them around together. BAM! Handle, door, and basic flooring done. Now we're gonna go to the outside. First of all, make a huge plane. Then add a displace modifier, make a new texture, go to said texture, and select clouds, and set the scale to something big so that it is not too spiky. BAM! Landscape. Now make a huge plane. Size it up so that it's near the size of the plane below, and then head to the Particles tab. Add a new system, set it to emitter, and set the frame start and end to whenever you want the rain to start and end. Now open render, select render as object, and then wonder what object to use. Then add an icosphere or a UV sphere. Grab the top vertex, enable proportional editing on the sharp setting, and pull it up. BAM! Raindrop. Then use this object in the particle settings and hit play. There should be a bunch of raindrops falling now, but this is unfortunately not enough. Increase the particle number to something like 1 or 200,000, and BAM! Rain. For the grass and fence, it's easy. Make a plane, thin it down, loop cut it like 7 times, then grab the end and pull it up with proportional editing. BAM! Grass blade. Now add 2 array modifiers. Put one as 1.1 in the x direction and the other as 1.1 in the z direction. Apply both, separate by loose parts, use a randomized transform, join them back together, and BAM! Grass patch done. For the fence it's very similar. Make a cube, thin it down, and then pull the top up with spherical proportional editing. Then use a single array modifier with 1.1 x or y, depending on which direction, and BAM! Fence is done. To put the grasses on the plane outside, click it and head into particle settings. Add a new one and set it to hair and enable advanced. Click render as and select object. Then use the grass patch from before. Adjust the scale and randomness and number of patches how you want, and make sure you applied the displace modifier so that the patches appear at the right points. Now on to materials. For the raindrop, just use a glass or transparent shader. For the grass, you can give it a solid color, but I used a color ramp to give it yellow and green, and I can adjust the mixture. For the fence, interior flooring, and outside ground, I used textures from online. Links are all in the description. Here's my shader editor, so you can copy it. For the other objects like the walls, or the doors, or the handles, you can just use solid colors like I did. I used a light blue for the wall and a solid white for the doors. But that's it. You can play back your animation and watch those raindrops fall. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like. Make sure to subscribe for more Blender videos and tutorials, and I'll see you all in the next video.